This is my Volkswagen bus project, and this is my old dumpy garage with a workshop bolted onto the back. I need to paint that Volkswagen bus, so I need a paint booth. This video shows you how I converted this junky old barn garage into a makeshift paint booth, and I also added some personal rants about why I had to do it, but you can fast forward through that if you don't care. I was going to make this video part of my bus restoration playlist, but I decided to keep it separate. So any references to previous videos or products I used, I'll have links in the description or in the video. But make sure you stay to the end for the final paint booth reveal. Enjoy! Well, unfortunately, it's going to rain all day today, so my productivity is going to be reduced quite a bit. But I'll give you an update. I got rid of all the stuff on this side pretty much. That built-in kind of desk thing is all removed, and a lot of the stuff that I took out of the shed and out of here I spent yesterday in the 95-degree weather just moving it to a storage locker or unit that we have, as well as the top, the pop top and the luggage rack, those fiberglass pieces. I had the pop top up in the rafters up here, so I got that down. So we're pretty much done with this side here, and as you can see, we have quite a bit of space. You know, I got about 6-7 feet now to work with on this side. So I'm moving back over to this side here. There's still a bunch of junk, and I'm going to be moving, I think I've moved everything I can over to the storage, so the rest of this is just small things, so I'm either going to dispose of it or move it to the shed, now that the shed has plenty of room, and then I'm going to be removing or cutting these shelves out that I built a long time ago, and that should give me, you see where the mower is, maybe 4 or 5 feet, so I'll have less room on this side, but enough. And then as far as the top, I don't have much room, but luckily the garage door opener is above, you know, where I don't need to spray, so I should be okay with regard to spraying this. So now what I'm going to do is look at the setup for the paint, how I'm going to make this into a paint booth. Well, before going into the paint booth conversion, let me just give you a little bit of a background on this garage and what my plans are, since it's probably about time to do that. I don't know if you remember, but in my part 15 video in May, I said the following. I also have some other exciting news coming up too, possibly a move into a different home, which would provide me with some other interesting projects and videos coming up, but it's not finalized yet, so I'm still waiting to see, but that's another thing I've been spending a lot of my time on. In order for me to get a garage that I can be happy with, because I'm just not happy with this one. It is crumbling, and it's old, and it's small. So our first thought, my wife and I were thinking, well, maybe we'll just buy some land in an unincorporated area so that we could build what we want. So we were looking, and actually in the winter time, we put a contract on a piece of unincorporated land that didn't have any CCRs or restrictions on what you could build, and we looked into that. What ended up happening was that we couldn't come to an agreement with the seller on the price of the land. They just wanted too much, and so we let the deal, the contract, we just left it. So we didn't end up doing that. Now, the problem that I had after doing some research, so it was probably a good thing that we didn't end up agreeing to a price on that land, because some of the quotes I got on building a finished home, you know, forget about even a finished pole barn or garage, but that would have been between $200 and $225 per finished square foot. And homes right now are selling for about, in our area, for anywhere between $160 to $190 a square foot. So we would have been immediately underwater, and that's not even considering the cost of the well and utilities and grading and all the other things that you need to do to prep for building a house or a structure on your land. So that ended up falling through. So in May, what I was talking about when I was saying moving into another house is we had another contract on a house in a different state, actually, still in the Midwest. And it was a short sale situation where the seller's bank was taking forever to go through the whole short sale process. It took about 3 months. We were assured we were on the final stages of the process and everything was going to end up closing. And that's why I mentioned in that May video that we would probably be moving into this new house. At the last minute, the bank decided to foreclose and decided to kill the deal. I guess they just didn't want to lose that amount of money from the seller. So they killed the deal at the last minute. That house would have given me not only a lot of square footage because it was an old, historic, large home, but it also had a large garage as well and plenty of area for me to build a workshop and all sorts of things. Unfortunately, that died too. So we're staying here because now interest rates are high and I just don't have the interest in selling this place. So now what do? Well, what I decided was to look into rebuilding this crumbling garage. This garage is probably over 100 years old and was the old carriage house for this house. The carriage house or original garage ended right there. And the new structure I built on about 11 years ago is the workshop. That's, it's a couple feet skinnier and, I think it's about 18 feet long, whereas this garage is 16 feet wide by 20 feet long. This thing is in rough shape. If you go inside here, you can see daylight coming in because it's just an old structure. Now, in addition to this, when we built the new part, the workshop part, which was built, 11 years ago, it's on a modern slab. Notice that I did this after the builders built this. I poured this concrete ramp so that I could drive a car all the way back into the workshop where I used to keep my little Triumph Spitfire. So this garage is just falling apart. And so I thought I'm going to go ahead and rebuild it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and destroy or demolish this front part without demolishing my workshop. So I'll basically just take out that ramp and just basically tear out that whole front part of the garage and build a new garage, a one-car garage, but with a higher sidewall. And the reason for the higher sidewall is because I still can't build a wide garage because I'm just limited based on my property line. I'm going to build a single-car garage, but much higher, so I can put in potentially a 4-post lift and stack my cars. So I can, stack them on top of each other, plus have a lift for, being able to work on the car. What I want to end up doing is making the front part, this new garage, once I rebuild this, a automotive shop, my auto shop, and repurpose the back workshop as a wood shop, or have all my wood shop and remaining tools in there. So that's the goal. The problem is zoning is always a problem in my area, and so I have to get a variance in order to build a little bit bigger and a little bit taller than what the current township zoning allows for a detached garage. So I'm going to have a hearing this Thursday on whether I get approved for that, and then we'll go from there. Well, as I'm tearing out the shelving right here to make room for myself, I decided to start building my exhaust wall here. You can see I have it all framed out and ready to go to put those fans in. Well, here it is in all its glory, the custom paint booth exhaust system. Fix It Scotty style. Got your little filters in here. held in by these bungee cords. So you're probably asking yourself, it looks so good from the inside, what does the outside look like? Oh yeah, there it is, complete with custom tent awning. Nothing but quality here. Well, sorry for the fan noise in the background, but I have the fan going in the garage area to try to dry it out. I was hoping to just leave the bus outside all day and just let this air dry all day from the pressure washing, but it looks like there's a threat of rain, so I've got the bus in here with a tarp over it just in case. But as you can see, I think I took a couple shots of it that I'll run. I tried to pressure wash everything in the garage. I'm trying to be careful around the electrical outlets and lights and things like that, but as much as I could, just blow off the rafters, some of the walls, the floor, just to get rid of the cobwebs and the dust and the insect nests and all that nastiness in there. It's not going to be perfectly clean, but at least it, you know, knocks down all the stuff that could fall while I'm painting. So floor's soaked and everything, but that's drying up now. You also notice that there is a plastic sheathing. That's why it's very, you know, it's not very transparent. So I got the first of the pieces of plastic sheeting up, and what I used to hang this sheeting, I don't know if this is not standard, but these nails here, my neighbor was moving and I was helping her empty out her attic and basement and various things, and she had a box of these, which I think it's just a thin ring shank nail, long, with a plastic washer, and I think these are for hanging up half-inch foam insulation for nailing that in, but they work good for, if, you know, except for the fact that the nail's a little bit long. They work really great, that plastic washer, for hanging up sheathing. So I use those all around for that, and a little bit of duct tape on here where I couldn't get behind the compressor. So yeah, that first wall is up, and so I'm happy about that. But I'm also excited to show you the setup. So I found a folding table in my basement, moved it into the workshop here, and this will be like my staging area. So this gives me a lot of room to deal with my supplies. So I'm excited to show you a little bit about that. Well, in a previous video, I walked you through a lot of the supplies that I've been buying for masking, painting, prep, you know, masks and other things. What I wanted to show you a little bit about the paint gun setup, and you know, maybe you guys can comment on this and let me know if I'm doing something wrong before I actually get to the painting part, because that'll probably be in a week or two. So this is one gun that I'm going to use. This is going to be used for the priming. It's a 1.7, and the way I figured I'd put it together is I go for inline oil water separator, then an adjustment gauge, then a swiveling connector, you know, and then the air fitting. So what it's going to look like, I've already kind of done this on my Husky gun here, is this. So I don't know, I think this will be, the hose can swivel on this. I've got my adjustment gauge, my air water separator. What do you guys think of this? If you think it's going to be a problem, let me know. But I think this will work out pretty well. I was going to put this down here, but then I read on there it says 90 psi max. So I thought, oh, maybe I should go ahead and, just to be safe, put the inline separator after the air valve. I don't know, you know, but I feel that'll work pretty well. Then as well, one thing I like to do is never throw things out that are useful. So I try to keep a lot of plastic that products that I buy are wrapped in, because it's useful for masking. That's just less thing products or craft paper as well. Just keep that because it's free masking stuff. But these things came off of those lights that I bought, and I mean, it essentially creates a big 4-foot long air hose sock. So this will be perfect. So when I could put the gun inside and air hose in with the regulator inside the sock here, and I got 4 foot of protection. I've got a bunch of these bags that now I can use for that. So that's kind of going to be my setup for the paint guns here. Then moving over on the table, I have this area here for the paint mixing and prep. And I just clamped on this little paint gun holder here, so I can do the, I've got filters, I got to get more of these, but I'll have some measuring cups. Here's the epoxy primer, and then various other things. Here's some spray gun cleaner, acetone, you know, whatever. But that's kind of going to be my paint setup, so I can mix and fill here and be ready to go, and then just walk through my wall and be ready to spray. Well, hey everybody, I got the paint room finished and I'm excited to show you the reveal. So come with me. So first you may notice that I've got this zip up here. This wall is going to be completely sealed, and these are pretty cool. This is called a zip wall, and they're for construction sites, and it's basically a tape-backed zipper that you can tape to any kind of sheathing. So I've got this zip down, and then we're going to walk through here into the second layer of sheathing on the inside. So come on with me. All right. Okay, here's the paint booth. So as you can see, I've got that wall double sheathed, and it's sheathed all along here. I've got the garage door sheathed, and the garage door opener as well sheathed. And all this works. I've done it multiple times today. You can go up and down and up and down, and everything stays, the sheathing all stays place, as well as the sheathing over on the electrical panel there. Okay, so lighting. This was the challenge with this garage because it's so dark wood. There's no drywall, there's no white. It's all just dark wood, so I had to get a lot of lighting. So what you can see is there's 3 sets of lights on either side. These are 5,000 lumen shop lights from Harbor Freight. I would just save up and wait for a coupon, and I just kept getting them over the last 8 months to a year. And then above, I went ahead and screwed some joists all the way up there into the roof and hung 3 different lights, shop lights here as well. So there's a 5,500 lumen light, another 5,000 lumen, another 5,500 over there. So it's a total of 9 LED shop lights lighting up this place, plus a side fill. So for whenever I'm doing like lower work, I've got that, I think that's a 6,000 lumen shop floor light right there. Then I think you saw the wall, the ventilation wall. In addition to this may not be enough ventilation, but in addition to this, I'll probably have a large fan coming out the bottom there, so this garage door won't be all the way shut. There'll be a large fan shooting out the bottom there. In addition to this, both these fans shooting out the sidewall here. I built a couple stands for the doors so I could spray the doors without having anything holding on to them. So you could see I have one door mounted, but this is what it looks like, just a couple blocks, and this was just leftover wood off these shelves, so I could just hang the doors off the blocks and I can spray them all there. In addition to that, like I said, when I cleaned off all these joists, there's a bunch of nails hung on these, nails and screws. So I found a bunch of these steel wires, just things I've collected over the last few years. So hangers, you know, things like that. And then I'm making some workbench, so for the larger pieces, I can move this out into here, and I can put them on here and spray. I've also got this little caddy here that I could put something on and spray. When doing the car, I can open the garage door, and again, nothing is intruding on the actual garage door opener, and bring the car in, and I have full room to spray it in here. I've got about 6 feet on this side and about 4 or 5 feet on this side, so I should have plenty of room to get everything done. And if you want to see me use this paint booth, you're going to have to subscribe to my channel, so go ahead and do that, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.